everybody. Today we're going to be doing something really simple, talking about melon. Two things. One, how to cut a melon. I know it sounds simple, but there's actually kind of a trick to it to keep your fingers safe and to get the most of your melon. And the other thing we're going to talk about is why buying a whole melon is so much cheaper than buying the pre-cut melon. We're going to do a whole calculation and comparison. We're going to use our food scale. You'll see. So stick around. Here we go. The first thing we're going to do is cut up our melon. Now, what melon do I have here? Can you take a guess? Looks like a honeydew, but when I cut it open, you'll see that it is not green. It is orange. It's actually called an orange dew. An orange dew melon, it's a hybrid of a honeydew and something called like a muskmelon or something, muskmelon. Basically, it's kind of like a honeydew cantaloupe kind of thing. It's really sweet and really delicious. I'm actually going to use two different knives for this process. One is my chef's knife and one is my flexible fillet knife. If you don't have these, it's okay. Just make sure your knives are nice and sharp. I know that sounds weird, but the sharper your knife is, the more safe that it is. A dull knife slips, a sharp knife doesn't. So we're going to start with our chef's knife to cut through from end to end, and we're just gonna start at the top, and I like to just gently rub until it makes a little slit, because that stabilizes it, and then I'm just going to hold it like this, not putting my fingers anywhere near the cutting area as I cut down. I'm just going to hold it like that. If you want to press your hand on top when you get a little bit further down, that's great. This one is just, oh my gosh, slicing through it like butter. That means it's a good knife and a ripe melon, so that's a good combination. Now look at that. See how it looks like a cantaloupe inside, but it's gonna taste a little bit like honeydew. So the next thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna take out our seeds. And all you need for this is a spoon and a little garbage bowl. So you're just gonna dig gently. You don't want to dig into the good flesh. You're just gonna kind of scrape around. And I just kind of make a little puddle of seeds and things in it until everything is loose. And then all you do is just dump it out to your bowl, or you can kind of help it along. You can just kind of gently scoop all of those seeds out. It's so juicy, it smells amazing. All right, let's do our other one. Okay, so we are ready to cut. Now that I don't need this anymore, I'm gonna dump this out. I'm gonna use this bowl to hold our fresh cut melon. So we're going to put one melon aside just for a moment so we have room on our cutting board. Oh, another big tip, and I've made this mistake before, so just learn from my mistakes. You want to use a cutting board that is not also used for onions and garlic and things like that. So have a cutting board that you use for meats and onions, garlic, peppers, and all those savory things, and have a cutting board that you use for fruits and that kind of thing. I can't tell you how many times I had to learn the lesson the hard way. I'll cut up my fruit, strawberries, cantaloupe, and I'm eating them and I'm like, nice and garlicky. Just no matter how many times I wash my garlic cutting board, it just stays there. It's like the ghost of garlic past. So you don't want that in your fresh fruit. I'm gonna tilt our melons slightly, and with our chef's knife, very gently cut little thin wedges. The last one is trickiest. Remember, your melon is nice and juicy, so it's slippery. So you're gonna kind of wanna go slowly and carefully. Okay, so I've cut this into 6 wedges, that's good. And then I'm gonna set these ones to the back, and this is where you're gonna want to use a flexible knife. If you don't have a flexible knife, that's okay. I just find it to be really, I'm gonna show you how flexible this is. See? It's really, really great. Okay, so I'm gonna take my, can you see this okay? I'm gonna take my melon slice and very carefully go all the way to where the flesh of the melon is meeting the rind. And I'm just gonna gently move back and forth as it pushes to the other side. And because this is flexible, it just naturally curves and goes all the way across very easily. Then at this point, I'm just gonna take my knife and just chop it up. Okay, I just realized something. I was about to just grab a handful and just pop it in my mouth, because that is what I always do when I'm cutting melon. I'm literally salivating right now. I love fresh, ripe melon so much. The problem is I want to weigh my melon so I can show you how much money you can save. So I have to just have some self-control and I will wait until we are done with our little experiment here, and then I will enjoy my melon chunks. All right, so I'm just gonna keep slicing. I've got 1/2 cut up. That's already such a huge bowl of melon. And then I'm going to start slicing my other half. It's time to compare the two. Now here I have the entire melon cut up, which was $5.99. The pre-cut melon at the store was $5.79 a pound. And I'm gonna show you what a pound of this melon looks like. That's just over a pound. I'm even gonna add like 2 more pieces just to be generous, because technically it was $5.79 a pound and the melon was $5.99. So just not to get too technical, but I'll give it a little extra. So this costs $5.99 if you buy it pre-cut. This costs $5.99 if you cut it yourself. So a huge, huge difference. I'm even gonna weigh it just to see exactly how many pounds we cut up here. Almost 3 pounds. Echo, what's 5.79 times 3?
5.79 times 3 is 17.37.
$17. $17 pre-cut. $5.99 to cut it up ourselves.